Wait up. So I have a new lighting and it's actually way too sharp. Um, so these videos in the dark are not very good. I apologize for that. But this last few days I have been playing Shining Tears on the PlayStation 2. I actually beat the game last weekend and you know I've read reviews of this game and heard people talk about it on YouTube saying that the game is garbage and so bad, and it's not bad. It's not that bad. It's okay. Like I would give it like a 6.5, maybe sometimes a 7. I did enjoy my time with the game, and after that, I started playing Shining Force Neo because Shining Force Neo and Shining Force Exile were like the two games I really wanted to play. And it seems that most gamers, YouTubers, whatever, they kind of like these games a little bit more. And I was kind of into it. And I'm not entirely sure if I am the only one on earth who does this. Probably not. But once I don't really know much about the Shining games. I have played Shining Resonance Refrain on the PS3 and I did like it. And I played, of course, Shining Tears and now playing Shining Force Neo. And I always sort of check out on YouTube or on the internet and check out information about what is the Shining franchise and where did it start. Now, it seems it started as Shining Force on the Sega Mega Drive. It seems, of course, because it's a Sega Mega Drive collection, of course it did. With Shining Force 1 and Shining Force 2 being strategy RPGs. And I was thinking, okay. And I actually read about Shining Force 2 that kind of blew my mind a little bit. It seems that that game is one of the best strategy games of all time. And in top 100 videos of best games of all time, Shining Force 2 is always pretty high. I think on IGN, it's like number 43 of the top 100 best games of all time. I'm like, wow, are they really that good? So yesterday I figured, why not? Let's try it out. So as I mentioned, I got my Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection on the PS3. I haven't really played that much. I do remember playing Phantasy Star 4, and that is because Happy Console Gamer was talking about the Phantasy Star 4 was really good. So I figured, hey, why not? And of course, I played a shit ton of Streets of Rage 2 on this. And Shining Force 1 and Shining Force 2 are on this collection. I really wish they do more of these collections. Not just like 4 or 5 games, but like 40 or 50 games. That would be so freaking cool. And I think you also have like some unlockables and stuff. It's pretty cool. And I started playing the game, and I figured I am not someone who grew up with Sega Mega Drive, Sega Saturn. Well, maybe sort of because I did grow up with the PlayStation 1. But Super Nintendo, I was way too young. I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was way too young. So I really grew up with the PlayStation, but I do love pixel art graphics. I do love these older games. Not all of them. Some games, even games like Contra, it looks really cool, but it's way too difficult for me. So in my mind, I was like, yeah, the game is probably going to look pretty good, but it's probably going to be like this really slow and old strategy RPG. And I hope I'll be able to sort of figure it out and like it. And once I sort of boot up the game, I'm like, okay, it looks good, it sounds good. And once I've gone into the first battle, I was pretty amazed. It is really fast. It's super simple. However, it does have strategy. It does have strategy. So my initial thought of the first battle was, wow, this looks like a modern strategy game, but very simple. And I really liked it, and the storyline is also pretty nice. But of course, evil versus good, it's kind of the same stuff. But if it's told in a simple and well done way, I don't mind it. And basically, I started playing and done a few battles, and then I gone to one battle, and you have a few party members, and I was leveling, and I do like. So I'm not entirely sure if I'm correct, but it seems that the only equipment you really have are weapons. You don't have armor. You don't have anything else. It seems because every character, and it's not like a soldier. It's like it has a name. Like it's sort of a party member. Every character has 4 slots, including 1 slot for their weapon. So basically, you have 3 slots for items, or extra weapons, or perhaps healing items, or items that you can use for your mage. Because I love this aspect of the game. It doesn't have millions of HP. You start out with like 8 HP. You deal like 4 damage, and slowly you get stronger and stronger. But I don't see this game at the end having, a billion damage or something like that. Like a lot of these RPGs nowadays have that, and I don't like it. I just wanted to keep it simple. So I really like that aspect of the game. So I was playing the game, and you basically go up against a few enemies, like a bat and evil dwarf, some enemies, and I'm basically beating them, leveling my characters up here and there. I'm like, damn, this is pretty easy. So eventually, you come across a point in that battle where on the left side you have a few of giant bats, and on the right side is where you have to go, and there are like 5 or 6 centaurs, or sort of horse people. They're called centaurs, and I'm like, okay, let's divide up. Let's use a small bit of my group to battle the bats, and a small group battling these centaurs, and I got destroyed. I got destroyed. I didn't expect these centaurs to be so freaking fast and also extremely strong. And basically, something that I do like that I found out. So you have a main character that is you, Cloud Kill, whatever you, and I'm like, oh, my character's pretty strong. I'm going to rush him in front, and he'll do some damage. And they basically rush my character and kill him, and then the battle is over. So if your main character dies, the battle is over. I like that. I truly like that. So I was thinking, damn, I have to do this battle over again. It sucks. And basically you sort of respawn at the church, right? Kind of like a Dragon Quest. That is where you that's where you resurrect your dead companions. This is where you can promote them, probably giving them stronger abilities or something like that, or maybe from like a mage to like a battle mage, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I'm at the beginning of the game, and there's where you have to save, just like the Dragon Quest, where you can cure, etc., etc. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I started going back into the battle, and to my biggest surprise, you actually keep your experience points. You keep your levels. I'm like, wow, that is pretty modern, to be really honest. I was kind of shocked, like, wow, that is, this game is so old, and yet it feels so modern. It feels like it was way ahead of its time, and everything is just very simple, but it's really fun. Nothing like, how do I say it? Nothing like this Gaia, right? Where you have this huge amount of skills and area of attacks and stuff. It's really simple. There's one thing I find very curious though, with I think it's called Hans here in Holland. He is an archer, but he can only shoot 1 block extra, and he basically can shoot as far as the centaur with spear. I'm like, I think it's called Ken, the centaur. I'm like, what? That's weird, right? Like, he's basically saying, don't put me on the front line, but you have to put him on the front line because his bow doesn't really, it can shoot very far. Maybe once you get better arrows, because you don't really get a bow, you get arrows. Maybe you'll shoot further away, or maybe when he levels up, you can shoot further away. But it's kind of weird. But still, I like the game a lot. I like the game way more than I thought. I really wanted to just try out the game, see what these original Shining Force 1 and 2 are about. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, Shining Force Neo is going to be on hold. I'm going to play this game, and I'm very curious how they improved upon Shining Force 2 being so damn good and it is on people's list of best games of all time. So I just wanted to make a quick video about it, even though I'm probably not very quick, about Shining Force 1 and 2, another two games on my list that I need to play, I need to beat. Um, and yeah, I don't really know much about the Sega consoles. I mean, Dreamcast, I know a little bit about, but Sega Saturn, Sega Mega Drive, I don't really know much about. Are there any good RPGs besides the Shining Force games? Are there, any action RPGs on it? There are some games here on this. I think Ease. Is Ease also on the Sega systems? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, Golden Axe. I do love Golden Axe. I did play all the Golden Axe games. So, of course, Vector Man. Okay. Okay, so leave in the comments below. Have you ever played Shining Force 1 and 2? Have you played these games on the PlayStation 2? Let me know in the comments below. And you'll see me next time. Whee!